So if you're one of these guys, or I guess a few women too, that have joined this group called Antifa, which stands for anti-fascism, if you've joined that group or you support them, this video is for you. Anybody else is welcome to listen in, but I'm talking to the Antifa individuals right now, and you in particular, if you're one of them. My point of view is it's not your fault if you've been fooled into getting involved in this kind of stuff. The mainstream corporate media has been running a very sophisticated hate campaign for quite a while. It's really been ramping up in the last 2 years. And they're saying that offensive violence, you know, striking first with violence, not to protect yourself, but offensive violence and terrorism basically is okay because you're a poor victim of all these things from society, racism and gender inequality and the 1% and the evil white people and the evil males, especially white males, and evil Republicans, and the big evil president now, who is identified with fascism. They call him fascist president. So you joined Antifa for a lot of reasons with those justifications, and you know, it can give you a sense of power to be in this great cause of fighting bad things and to fight for justice and get the satisfaction of hurting bad people and to stop fascism, maybe make some money too if you're fortunate enough to be on the payroll of one of the Soros companies or foundations. But here's a problem that you didn't think about, besides the fact that a lot of that stuff that they tell you is not even true. It's not possible, because of laws of energy, to fight evil successfully by becoming evil. You just join them, basically. You look like you're fighting, but really you're on the same side. And the other thing is, you really don't if you're supporting Antifa, you really don't understand what fascism even is. Real fascism is a form of tyranny. That means spying on you all the time, controlling your life. It's happened all over the world in a lot of famous places, not just Germany, but Cambodia and most notably China, since the communist takeover there, and in Soviet Russia, and to some degree it's trying to take over America now, and it's the same general forces of tyranny trying to do that. So here's the problem that we have with all this stuff. Real fascism is a form of tyranny, and as I was said, and there is a way to overcome it, which we're going to be tested on now at this time in the world. And there are two requirements. First, you got to understand what it is, and I started to say, you know, it's a form of tyranny, and it's run from a much higher level, not the elected officials, not a president that you think is doing it, but much higher levels that actually control the visible government. And so first you have to understand what it is, and second of all, if you really want to turn it around and reverse it and try to change some of the people that are involved in it, there's no way around the fact that you have to make some changes in yourself. And that's why I selected the title that I did for this particular video, because, all right, you want to fight fascism. How brave are you really? Going out and just being thugs and terrorists and breaking windows and blowing up things and fighting police and attacking women, which Antifa does a lot, that kind of stuff. That doesn't take any courage whatsoever. Any creepy person can do that. And when they support each other, there's a lot of peer pressure to do really stupid things like that. But real bravery is what you're going to need if you really care about fighting tyranny at all. Because, as I said, you have to make some changes in yourself. Real tyranny today in the world as it is now is orchestrated on a global level. It's highly coordinated. It's got very sophisticated technology that it's using against all of us, including you. And it's probably 50 to 100 years more advanced in technology than what we're being told. They have very advanced technology for surveillance, watching everything that you do, probably tapping into conversations not just on email and telephones and all that, but probably even a lot of the face-to-face conversations are monitored. And they're really into making you sick, making you mentally defective and confused, like the whole Antifa thing, thinking that you're fighting fascism when you're doing the opposite. Mind control, emotion control, this has all been fairly well perfected before World War II, as Barry Trower and others explained on our Sunday show. But at this point, if you're like the rest of us, you become a victim of this advanced technology, the misuse of it, whether you're a victim of these domestic terror groups or the same thing in other countries, or whether you've actually fallen for the nonsense that these groups would be good to join for justice and fighting fascism and all that stuff, which is never true. So if you want to break free of it, if you're in one of those groups like Antifa, or you joined the communists or the white supremacists or the Hispanic supremacists or any of these racist terrorist type groups, and you want to break free, if you have what it takes and you're willing to do the work, I would just recommend, you can do what you want, but I recommend that you get your health back first, because if you fix your health and get off drugs of all kinds, medical, with the help of great doctors that are out there to do that if you need them, over-the-counter, alcohol, cigarettes, marijuana, anything that comes in and affects how you think and feel in a way that kind of supersedes your free will, which all of those do. If you want to get your health back, do that first. It'll make your mind start to function clearly, and that you really need your mind being somewhat clear if you want to do something real and not just run around hurting people in the name of fighting fascism, which it's complete fraud. So as you get your health back, you get your vision back, you wake up more and more of yourself on a real level, throw off the hypnosis, and you'll find that good light, the positive power, is so much stronger than the negative one that you've been supporting. There's just no comparison. The only way the negative one can seem impressive and overwhelming is if the rest of us just stay completely unconscious, just like, you know, lying on the ground unaware of anything, which is what we've been doing. But the question remains, are you brave enough to stop blaming other people and other circumstances and falling for the propaganda? Are you brave enough to turn that onto yourself and say, whoa, look at all this stuff I've done that wasn't that great? And whatever you do to somebody else or for them comes back to you. That's a reason not to fall into these nasty groups, because you're making a bad future for yourself, even if you don't know about it. So if you are courageous enough, start exploring, start finding out what really creates health and energy, not drugs, not the fraudulent medical system, not any of that nonsense. That's all coming from the same place that fooled you into joining those groups. The real health information, you know, it's violently suppressed in this country. We've lost probably 80 or more doctors murdered in the last 2 or 3 years just for trying to talk about little parts of it. And I've spent the last more than half century researching and experimenting with this stuff, and I have a responsibility to share it with you if you are up to using it. That's what Planetary Healing Club is about. If you feel up to it and working on yourself, come and join us, lostartsradio.com/club. Or if you don't want to do that, just do it yourself, but start. Time is valuable and you don't know how much you've got. So get your health back, and that makes a platform on which you can start doing the real work, which my ulterior motive is get a number of us back to doing the real work with our bodies working properly, and then we start the work internally on consciousness, and that is powerful. I can't say much of it about it on a public platform like this, but in the club meetings I can. And you get to far enough along with that, you can start affecting the thoughts and emotions of the bad guys, just like they have been doing to you, except do it in a positive way, so that they eventually get to the point and say, whoa, wait a minute, what am I doing? Then you start getting defectors within the system. That's our potential power. And the biggest fear of the people doing all this destruction is that you'll find out who you really are and what you can really do before they finish the destruction. So I'd say let's make their concerns come true, okay? You are the most incredible being beyond what you can imagine. It's time to use some of the things that we've forgotten about for our whole life up to now. That time could be over if you're ready. So let's see what we can do, and I'll see you next time.